This is David Mould. I'm reading from my book, Postcards from Stanland, Journeys in Central Asia. This excerpt is entitled Upscale Beef Language. When Stephanie and I lived in Bishkek, the capital of Kyrgyzstan, in the mid-1990s, most foreign visitors stayed at the Dostok Hotel near Victory Square. It was in a convenient central location. The phones and TVs worked, although the choice was limited to Kyrgyz and Russian language stations and one Turkish satellite channel, and the two restaurants actually served what was on the menu. The single elevator was standard Soviet issue, just large enough for two people and a couple of bags, but at least it worked. I had little sympathy for the visiting USAID contractors who complained about the short beds and the mutton stew served at breakfast. This was luxury compared to most hotels in Central Asia. The Dostok's monopoly on foreign guests was soon challenged. On the south side of the city on Prospect Mira, Bishkek's first international hotel was rising from the concrete rubble of the old city airport. The 14-story Akkami Hotel, built by Turkish investors, soon eclipsed the Dostok as the upscale option in town, offering conference facilities and, it was rumoured, a French chef. Stephanie and I visited the hotel only once for a fashion show, but I stayed there twice on later visits to Bishkek. By 2009, Bishkek also had a Hyatt downtown and an even more expensive boutique hotel, so the Akkami had competition at the top end of the market. It was comfortable, if not exactly suited to business travellers. All the flat surfaces in the room were about 2 feet above the floor, so there was nowhere to sit and work. The business centre charged $7 an hour for internet service. I could get a faster connection down the street at an internet cafe for $1 an hour. I'm not sure when the Turkish investors backed out, but by then the Akkami was officially a, quote, joint Kyrgyz-Malaysian venture. Because English is widely spoken in Malaysia, you'd expect the new foreign partner to have tidied up the English grammar and spelling on the hotel's printed materials. The Akkami's room service menu varied from the mildly pretentious on green meadow veal and romance soup to the simply careless stewen rice and humburger, and the laughable domestic's pie. Domestics is a translation from the Russian domashnie, which means home or homemade. I guess the menu writer felt that taking the second meaning from the dictionary would be a classier option. Downstairs, the restaurant served beef language. In Russian, as in English, the word yazik, translated as tongue, can refer to either the body part or the language, but you need to think about what you're describing. Instructions for the hotel phone included a wordy, if mathematically precise, warning. After telephone conversation, it is necessary to press the button of interruption. While the button of interruption is not pressed, the telephone station doesn't fix the end of the conversation. After 53 seconds, it will start to charge price. 53 seconds. The Soviets were always better at math than at English. By 2009, Kyrgyzstan was at last seeing a steady stream of foreign tourists, and many stayed at the Akkami for a night on their way to and from the standard package tour, which included visiting Isikul, the great mountain lake east of Bishkek, eating in a traditional Kyrgyz yurt, watching traditional dance, and drinking kumis, fermented mare's milk. I helped an Australian couple load their bags into the elevator, a hazardous task because the elevator doors stayed open for approximately 2 to 3 seconds before attempting to sever human limbs. They'd enjoyed the mountain scenery, but didn't like the city. "Bit of a rat, old mate," said the man. I told them that I loved the city, despite the traffic and inconveniences. "It ain't Sydney," he replied, stating the obvious. Postcards from Stanland, Journeys in Central Asia by David Mould, is published by the Ohio University Press, OhioSwallow, that's one word, .com, and available from independent bookstores Amazon and other online booksellers.